discredit anybody, to humiliate anybody, to make somebody feel uncomfortable. Nobody has that right at all. And, you know, some of you may walk away from this now saying, well, he lectured us. I hope you don't, because that's not what it is. But we've addressed these kinds of things a lot. And I've been at fault a number of times, and I regret that. And it's something I certainly am going to work on, and that's what I meant where there are times when I've been emotional about things. But I believe in what I do. And I know that we've got an outstanding school district, and we've got people back there who teach in our district who are responsible for that. What we have to do as a board, and I'm including myself in that, is make sure that we do things to allow the bottom line, if you will, which is a real poor analogy, and that being the kids, to walk out of our school system with a good education, to make sure our teachers have everything that they need and we can give them. That's not going to happen if we're always picking on things like how are we going to behave? You know, how are we going to talk to people? That should be an ingrained piece of who you are. It shouldn't be something that we even have to talk about. But we're at that point, and we couldn't have a better discussion than the one we're having tonight. And part of that is because we're getting some things on the table, and I think that's important. And I think we do run good board meetings. Can we improve Robert's Rules of Orders? You bet. Can we do a lot of things better? Yet. But why do we have to criticize ourselves for that, to make that happen? Why can't we just say in the confines of conversation, you know, can we just do a better job of this? Instead of doing it in a venue that says, I'm going to make sure I get my time to criticize. I don't want to be in an environment like that, and I know none of you do. And I think when we have the ability as a board to have so much investment in how this district is run, both from fiscally, whether you're a watchdog or whether you're, any name you want to give yourself, doesn't make any difference. You were elected to the board because the people of this community felt you would do things that's right for the school system. The school system. You weren't represented to do things what's right for the community specifically. Now let me tie that together because I don't want anybody to misinterpret it. When you do things that are right for the school system, that has an impact on the community. And by that I mean if you as a board just say, spend what you want, that's not what this community expects. And every one of you have sat in the World Cafe meetings last, and you've heard a lot of these same things. You know, we expect you to be fiscally responsible. Well, Judith's versions of that and Janet's and David's might be all a little bit different. But that's the role of the board to say, are we doing the right things that we're supposed to do? Spending the dollars the way we're supposed to do. You know, being able to go to Joe Public and say, why the heck did you put 10 laptop parts in the high school? And for you as a board to be able to answer why. And I guess through all this, you know, dialogue, I think the one thing I hope we get out of this is that this isn't hard work, folks. This really is not very hard work. It's about everybody. You can hate the people sitting at this table. I don't think anybody does. But you don't have to come in here thinking that you're going to send Christmas cards to everybody. But you do have to come in here with the idea that you're going to do what's in the best interest of the school district, and that's tied with the community. And I think if we can just put two words that have been thrown out by you as board members, the courtesy and respect issue, we're going to go a lot farther than we are if we start throwing darts at everything that we want to do. And when you break the word courtesy down, that just simply means give somebody a phone call, give somebody a heads up, not make anybody feel like they were put on the spot. You as a board member should never feel like you're put on the spot by the public or the community. And for that, you need information. And all you got to do is tell us, and we'll get it to you. You know? And it's being considered, I think, of each other as well.
Thank you. So how can we move ahead? How can we move forward? Are there any suggestions for that? I know I sent out an email suggesting the conference that's coming up in May that talks about boardsmanship. That's one idea. Does anybody have any other ideas?
Sure, let's do a book study of the book that's right there in front of Melissa.
That's another idea.
About this at the convention. I haven't read it yet. I loaned it to Linda and she read it in 1 week. But she recommends it. It's called 5 Habits of High Impact School Boards.
Does that sound like something you're willing to do? Be willing to do?
You have to answer tonight.
That's something to think about. Well, if it is something everyone would be interested in doing, could you put your hands on these books for us?
Yeah.
All right, let me know. Email me, please. If doing a book study on that.
I mean, one thing you might consider is maybe having a library of specific subjects and where everybody's skill need is, you'll have a resource for it.
That's an excellent idea, thank you.
Okay, question, David?
Sure.
We've had a number of board in-services, whatever you want, over the last couple of years, and from various people on the board, you've probably got you've all got different degrees of value out of that. I think it would give me a clear sense of what are you looking for to develop as a board? Because we've had people be very critical of some of the people that have come to address you as a board that I didn't like that person. And they didn't give me anything. And that's okay, because not everybody's gonna go to a conference or anything else and like what they hear. But I think there's gotta be something that's sort of universal that we can all do. And maybe that's what you're talking about here, so that's just something to think about.
Well, the discussion we've had with other boards, I think has been very beneficial. I've gone to some other board meetings and watched how they do it. Completely different than Robert's rules, completely different than what we do. Meetings run smooth, some of the meetings got hot and heavy over some issue that I was watching. So just discussing either with other school districts